Guitar chords. We're going to start with some really simple chords. A chord is, at its very basic level, a combination of two or more notes. Yes, you can make a chord with only two different notes. More commonly, you're going to use three notes. Three notes will build a triad, which will give you the tonality and the full sound of a chord, whether it's major or minor. We're going to start with some very basic chords using one fretted note and then a combination of open strings. So the first chord we'll do is a G. We start with our fretted note, which is on the high E string and on the third fret. 1, 2, 3. So there's our fretted note. Make sure that is clean and is sustained. And then we're going to add and then strum down the strings so we play those three strings together. So it is the G string, the B string, they're both open, and then our fretted note is on the third fret of the E string. Okay, the next note is a C, and we're going to place our finger on the second string, first fret. It'll sound like that. Make sure that's nice and clean. Make sure your finger is not resting on the string underneath it. So make sure you're using the very tip of your finger. Make sure your other fingers are out of the way. And we're going to play the same three strings with our right hand and strum them all together. And that's the C chord. And the next chord we're going to do is an E minor, and we're going to use the second fret of the D string. Elephant and donkeys, or 88 dynamite. Second fret, make sure you're not resting on the strings underneath it. Make sure your fingers arched. And then we're going to strum all four strings going down. Make sure that D string on the second fret is nice and clean and the note is sustained, it's not cutting off or muted or buzzy. And then the open strings should follow underneath that, nice and easy, the G, B and E string. G, C, E minor. Alright, I'm going to give you two more chords. The first one is an E minor, but we're adding an extra fret. So we're going to play on the 5th string or the A string, 2nd fret, then the D string, 2nd fret, and then we're going to strum all 6 strings. So a nice big full open sounding E minor chord. Alright, let's take that same 2 frets but move them down. So we're playing 2nd fret on the D string and then 2nd fret on the G string, and we're going to skip the low E string and just start strumming from the A string, so 5 strings. Pretty nice sounding chord. That is an A sus2. Think of it as an A chord if you like. Making sure those 2 fretted notes are nice and clean and sustained. Practice going between the E minor and the A sus2. Alright, there you have a nice introduction to some beginner guitar chords. Make sure you practice these consistently, making sure each string is sounding nice and clean and your right hand is strumming the correct strings. You don't want to be adding any string that's not necessary. So you've got G, C, E minor, easy, E minor, a little bit more difficult, and then the A sus2.